Hey everyone, welcome to the show, My So-Called Fabulous. I'm Tiffany. Welcome everyone. Okay, I've been talking about this for a while. I'm a first-time dog person. I'm not going to say owner, and I've just talked to my guest about this. I don't like saying dog owner. I don't know what it is, but I do know what it is. So, I fell in love with this dog, and I don't know how anyone can live without a little furry friend. There we go. We're going to say it. But we've had some challenges. All right. So I always love talking about pets on the show. And I was posting on my socials about an update of my dog. And this fabulous man, Robbie, reached out to me and said, if I can help, let me know. And I immediately broke down. And then I thought about it and I thought, you know what a great thing to have on the show. So I am going to introduce you today to a fabulous man that is dealing with dog psychology. And I'm assuming human psychology too. Robbie Estill with Estill Dog Behavior.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning.
Dog psychology.
Dog psychology.
That's right.
Go. Yes, ma'am.
What's the difference in behavior and psychology?
Well, behavior is the result of what you get out of when you study the brain. And so psychology is kind of the study of the mind and what it does. And so if you can change associations and work with the brain, then you can change behaviors.
So tell us a little bit about your business, and then we're going to talk about why.
Yeah.
Your business is in Fort Worth, Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
So I'm in Fort Worth, Texas, owner and founder of Estill Dog Psychology, like you said. We take all types of dogs, big, small. It's got 4 legs, 3 legs. We deal with them. But yeah, it's just teaching dogs that, when we study the brain and are able to teach dogs what associations are and how to change those, whether good or bad, we put the brain first before the body. And that's how we start to change and teach dogs how to calmly relax and be, good behaving dogs like we want in our house.
Right. Robbie, who and why would anyone come to you and your company?
That's a great question. I think the people that come to me are generally the ones that are out of answers. I get a lot of dogs. I've heard it for years. This is kind of the last straw with my dog. We've got to figure out what to do. We've tried everything. And the misconception a lot of people have with training in general is, growing up, the sit, stay, roll over, heel, all the obedience type stuff is what people believe training is. But when you put obedience before behavior, that's where some people have challenges. Because if you think about, if you have a dog that's anxious, it doesn't matter what you teach them, sit, stay, roll over, it's not going to change the brain and the way they view anxiousness and the way they view the triggers that kind of create that. And so that's my job, is to take those associations, take the things that you're struggling with, and put that into more of a primal way that dogs, an instinctual way that dogs live. And I teach you guys how to communicate with them the same way that they communicate with each other.
Okay, I'm going to take you back. What do you mean it's the last straw?
So I've had a lot of people there's people that have dogs that, if you think about if somebody has older parents in the house and they're wild and rambunctious, we can't have the 70-pound pit bull knock over, the older couple that might be fragile or could possibly get hurt by that. And so it's stuff like that. We've also had dogs that have shown aggression towards people, family, kids, babies, and so sometimes it's a lot of pressure, but I've heard several times I'm kind of the last stop to try and figure out if they need to rehome them or, find a rescue or something like that. So it's a lot of pressure, but I'm used to it. I'm used to it. I've done it for a long time. So
yeah. And you read in your bio on your website, and all this is in the show notes, but you read about you grew up with animals. You even have a honing pigeon in your house. What in the world? I was like, what is going on over here?
Yeah.
But lover of animals. And I was thinking, okay, what is the pressure in your career? It's that, right?
It is. Yeah, because my passion is so much into this, and I want the dogs to succeed, and I want the humans to succeed as well with the dogs, that there can be a lot of pressure, but I firmly believe that when you trust the process, when you believe in yourself, and I think a lot of people that are bringing dogs to me, they're stuck in the moment with the dog, what is in front of them, and they don't know how to fix it. Where I've done it so many times and long enough, I know the end goal and what's going to happen. It just takes time to get there.
Really?
But we just live in this world right now where everything's instantaneous. Snap of the finger.
Yes.
You know,
I mean, my Amazon didn't load quick enough this morning.
Right.
I mean, and I said, forget it. I don't need that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's the world that we believe it is with dogs.
And we've cultivated.
Yes, 100%.
So how long if I came to you and said XYZ with my dog, is there a timestamp on how
There's
long?
not a timestamp. I mean, for me personally, every dog's different. So one dog it might take a few months to get them straightened to the point where they feel better. You know, some dogs, they catch on quick and they go, oh, finally somebody understands me.
Yeah.
You know, they understand. It's like a light. Like, oh my gosh, that guy speaks the same language as me. So they come on a little bit quicker than others. But I try and break it down. Usually most dogs that come to me, that it's for 4 weeks at a time. And the reason I do it that way is it usually takes about a week for the dogs to kind of settle in and get used to the facility and kind of the rules and the boundaries and the structure of it. So then that leaves me 3 weeks to train the dog. And if you think of human psychology, they always say it's about 21 days to change a habit or associations.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of the approach I take with the dogs as well.
So they stay with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. So I keep them on site with me, with the other dogs. Because one thing that people don't realize is that sometimes the best teacher for dogs is other dogs.
Really?
It's their own kind. You know, they speak their own language. And so the way I do it is the dogs that stay with me to train. I also have boarding dogs that come in too, but those dogs have already been through the program and trained by me. So I use those dogs to influence the training dogs.
Wow.
So they teach each other how, you know, kind of what it's like to be calm and relaxed, and how to pack walk, and how to be around other different energies of dogs and all that kind of stuff.
Wow, that's amazing. So the dog that you do offer boarding, but it's been with your students.
Yes, ma'am.
There you go.
So it's a little perk. You know, if you come through the program,
Right.
you have a place for the dogs to come where you know they're getting worked. They're not put into a kennel for 23 hours a
Right.
day and nothing happening with them.
So Robbie, I've told you this story and I've told everyone, but I'm going to repeat myself. I was mauled as a child. I was around 4 by a dog, and it was traumatic. And my mother was, of course, just just screaming and crying. And of course I am too. And so it's trauma my whole life. So my MO was to be afraid. Therefore, let's fast forward 10, 15, 20 years, and my daughter's afraid. So I taught her to be afraid of a dog. Her dad gave me the gift of saying, there's no reason she should be afraid of dogs. That's
Right.
your issue. When I went to a psychiatrist, believe it or not, what do you call it? Hypnotized.
Yeah.
And it worked. It really did work. So then I made the decision to adopt my dog, Lala. There we go. And changed my life.
Yeah.
When I got her, not knowing what I was doing, and I own it. Boy,
Yeah.
do I own it. But thank goodness she's a good dog.
Yeah.
Should people come to you immediately? Like people like me that didn't know what they were doing?
I think it can be beneficial. I mean, even just from an education standpoint, to kind of understand what is expected for you when you bring that dog home. You know, you being mauled by a dog, that's terrible. I hate that that's the experience that you started off with. And I had similar experiences. When I was in middle school, I would walk home from school, and there was this red chow that lived on our street, and it would get out. I don't know, probably once every 3-4 weeks. And I was that dog's target. It would chase me, and I would just run through the streets scared to death of this dog.
Yeah.
And so I had that fear too. But I had to realize growing up, I just realized that not every dog's that way. That one experience can't define every dog, you know, so I can't paint it with a broad brush. And so that's just kind of the approach I took with animals moving forward. And like you said earlier, growing up, yes, my house was a zoo. My parents, they provided us with any and every animal you could possibly think of. My dad was in a racing club with pigeons. Like we had a pigeon coop. We had any animals you could possibly think of. But I'm so thankful for that now, looking back, because it taught me how to be around animals. It taught me how to respect animals. It taught me the importance of pet care. You know, all the things that we apply and that I teach today was happening. I just didn't know it. You know, I didn't know that's what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and for me, if you stand back and take a look, I was petting a dog, puppy, new puppies, through a barbed wire fence. That mother just took me through the fence and let me have it. She was afraid.
Yep.
And I shouldn't have been around that in the first place.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's a mother's I mean, you're not going to touch my baby. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
is it different? I mean,
No, I mean, but it shows you the reality of what dogs actually are. First and foremost, dogs are animals.
yeah.
And animals live in the instinctual world. So they're not thinking, oh, here's this very nice lady who's just petting my puppies.
Yeah.
They think, oh, somebody is invading my space, my dog space, and now they're a potential threat to the thing I'm supposed to keep safe. So now by any means necessary, I'm going to try and make her stop and back her up.
Sure.
You know, and unfortunately, that's the side that you got.
For a long
and
time.
I understand it. I had to learn the hard way too. My aunt and uncle, I'll never forget. My aunt and uncle had this little white Akita. And this dog did not like anybody but my aunt and uncle.
Yeah.
And I would go over to their house all the time, and I was old enough to know, but I would ignore it. The dog would show me its teeth, and I would think it was funny. I would show my teeth back to it, and all these things, just being a 12-year-old kid.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I got close enough, and he nipped me right on the end of the nose.
Oh.
And that happened 30 years ago.
Wow.
And still to this day, that I still remember that defining moment where I said, all right,
Got it.
I got it. I understand what these animals are saying now. I have to respect that. Otherwise, these things happen. And so that's, for me, I mean, that's an experience I won't forget either.
Right. I mean, that's reality because I learned too. I mean, my husband has had several dogs in his lifetime. I mean, and I think he called them all one name.
Yeah. That's weird, but it's also kind of cool. I mean, consistency is pretty key.
Yeah, Pocho. It was a Pocho. That was it.
Never mess it up.
I know. Never messed it up. So Lala, okay, she's from Los Angeles, so LA.
Yeah.
But he said you just have to be careful with their food. They're very guarded of food. So, and she's just not.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just the most kind. I couldn't have, but after you asked me the other night if I needed help, and I said, yes, I do. Because I don't know what to do when they're sick.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, even if you have children.
Yeah.
They don't come with a manual.
They do not.
They don't.
It's funny when you have kids, they're very helpful when the baby's delivered and you're in the hospital.
Yes.
And then I remember when you're done, they're just like, see you later.
Gone.
And that's it.
Like, wait.
It's like, who are you?
Exactly. Exactly. Same thing with the dog with me.
For sure.
You know, just how do you do it? But we have resources like you, thank goodness. But I honestly, and you know what? My dog is so sick right now. I'm just like, I don't know if I'll do it again.
Yeah.
And that's horrible.
Yeah.
You know, like.
It's emotionally hard, and to kind of go back to the fear that you were talking about that you had, when you got mauled. Dogs naturally reflect our energy. So the way we feel is what you're going to get back from the dog.
Tell us about that.
So the most anxious people will bring me the most anxious dogs that have the most anxiety. And it's just because the animal is trapped with the way you feel and the way you interact. They're trapped with it. So that's all they know. So you'll see a lot of people that have, dogs that have reactivity issues on the leash. You'll see them really tense when they walk the dog with the leash because they're always nervous something's going to happen.
Me.
And so if you put that pattern together, you're walking with your dog, everything's fine. Now here comes another dog walking towards you. You see it. So what do you naturally do? You tense up. So now your energy has shifted and changed, and the dog's like, whoa, what's going on? So now that thing coming towards me, mom just got weird about it. She got super tense and nervous. So something's unstable. Something's not right. So that thing coming towards me must be it. So if she's not going to protect me, then I have to protect myself. And so they just get stuck into that pattern. So it's hard with a sick dog because we naturally we think emotionally. We think with our hearts. So we want to coddle it. We want to make sure they're safe. They have all the things. But if you think about it in the animal world, there's no emotion, unfortunately. And in the animal world, in the wild, if a dog is sick, they don't feel bad for each other. It's either they kick them out or they give them time or they put them out, or they put them down, and that's the hard part and the primitive, element of this whole thing.
Right.
And so it's hard for us because we want to do all those things, but we also have to be that calm leader for the dog.
Right.
To say, hey, everything's fine. I know you don't feel well, but I'm going to give you space. I'm going to respect you. I'm going to make sure you have all the things you need to get better. But we can't feel bad, or it's going to make it worse for the dog, because then the energy in the house is just all off.
Yeah, it is off. The walking part, especially now, because she doesn't feel good, and she's lost 3 pounds, so she's 17 pounds. But she thinks she's 50 pounds.
Of course.
She thinks she's these massive dogs that walk by in our neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I've recently been picking her up to walk.
Gotcha.
Isn't that great? What am I doing wrong? Go ahead.
Yeah.
Tell me.
So when you are picking the dog up,
So embarrassed.
it's okay. We all do it. We all do things.
You're
Don't
gonna
worry.
charge me later.
We all do things. No, but if we're picking dogs up, we're not allowing them to get through things, and so and it's one of the not fun characteristics of a smaller dog, because if another dog comes up and we get uncomfortable or nervous about it, or the dog barks or we don't like it or whatever, we'll pick them up because we can remove them, but what is that teaching the dog? They're teaching them, well, if I act this way, I can get picked up and I get out of here. But I never learned from the experience. What I've learned is if I act this way, I get out of it. And so if you think about it, that's why like people with horses, they're a lot of the time they're very, very in tune with the horse, their energy, their body movement, all that, because it's a safety issue. It's a 1,500-pound animal.
No joke.
So if you make one wrong move or read something wrong or incorrectly, you could get hurt, right? But with dogs, because we can manhandle them and move them if we need to, we kind of don't take that same approach all the time. And especially with small dogs, But if you have a 60-pound dog and it starts acting the way, a small little yappy dog, something's going on, we can't pick them up. We got to figure out how to get them through it. And so that's why you see a lot of smaller dogs that have a lot of behavioral issues that just go unaddressed. But you also hear it too, where the owner's like, well, she's little, so it's not that big a deal. So if that dog bit somebody, it's not going to really hurt somebody.
Correct.
But still, the actions are being practiced. And so when that happens, that practice starts to become association. That association starts to become habit.
But if I leave her on the ground and somebody starts barking and getting after each other, then what?
So that's a good question. So in that instance, just talking about that specific thing, that's where, remember we talked about the dog biting you? What was the mom trying to tell you? Back up. Give me space, right? And so it's the same thing with the dog. So sometimes when we create space, proximity can be a big time trigger for dogs. So a lot of times when we give space, we can calm some of that down because it's not as intense because the dogs aren't as close to each other. And you think about like resource guarding, like you talked about food earlier. If you have a dog that's guarding food, usually a fight with another dog doesn't happen over the food. It happens over the space in between the food.
Wow.
So if you put food down and your dog's eating it, and you bring another dog in 20 feet away, you probably don't have too much of an issue. You might be on alert, like, hey, what's going on? But then bring that dog in 10 feet and 5 feet, it's closer, and then 2 feet, the growl, and then the fight.
Yeah.
So the conversation is not necessarily about the food, it's about the space in between. Just give me space. And so when we ignore that, our dogs are trying to tell us that's what they want, sometimes we just kind of blast them through that, and they don't get the opportunity to learn from it.
Right. I have to ask you this because I've thought about you and your world a lot. When my husband and I, or anyone, we get into an argument. A couple gets into an argument, which is normal, and it's just like emotions rise. My dog will go hide. Like she leaves, she's not happy. I can't find her. What's going on?
So the energy in the house becomes very high and frantic in that moment, and so that signal's unstable to a dog. And so when anything is unstable to a dog because they live in the instinctual state, that means they're only looking for survival. So if somebody's unstable, I can't follow that because in the animal world, it could get me killed. So think of like if you had a gazelle, a leader of a pack of gazelles in the wild. If the gazelle hesitates on the sound they hear in the bush, it could get the pack killed, right? So they just have to react on instinct. And another thing I like to talk about too is, I always tell people, try and be a good pilot to your dog. And people are like, what do you mean? So if you're nervous about flying and you hit some turbulence, right? If the pilot runs out of the cockpit and is like, oh my gosh, I think I don't know what's going on, we're going to die. You're going to freak out.
Yes.
Right? But if you hit those bumps and that same pilot says, hey, hit a little turbulence, everything's fine, y'all relax, whatever. It creates a calm, soothing thing for everybody so everybody can feel relaxed. So when our leader acts unstable or frantic or has energy that's off, it naturally sends the dog to reflect that same energy. And so Lala's just going away from it because it makes her uncomfortable, nervous, and that frantic energy is not a normal behavior out of you and your husband in that moment. And so she's just telling you, I'd rather remove myself than sit here and deal with it.
Y'all just go on and do what
Y'all go on and do what you need to do.
do what you got to
Yeah.
do. But then, so if I go and find her and comfort her, does she understand? Or, I mean, she seems to, like, then she'll wag her tail. Because wagging tail's a good thing, right?
It can be, but dogs will also wag their tail before they fight. Dogs will also wag their tail.
What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing.
No, but the intensity of the tail can tell you
Yeah.
what it means.
Yeah.
So like a stiff tail
Yeah.
can mean, hey, something's going on. You know, like I'm
Okay.
tense. You know,
Okay.
a long swoopy,
Yeah.
that could be happy. You know, it just kind of depends on the intensity of it
Okay.
too. So the tail can be a part of what's going on, but it's not the full. It's not the full story of what's happening. And so you also have to remind yourself too, the state of mind that a dog is in when we pet them is what they believe you want. So if your dog gets nervous, scared, fearful, I got a very fearful dog that's boarding or training right now, and I don't use affection with her because in the state of mind when she gets fearful of everything, if I use affection with my hands, she starts to believe, oh, this is what he wants. So the good stuff in life I get from him if I act this way. So I'm just going to continue that. So I use a lot of verbal stuff with her. I use a lot of like, hey, come on, like real soft, so inviting, tone, so that she feels better about following me. And now once she starts to feel better about the world, then I'll start to implement using hands and touch. So you just got to be careful too. The state of mind that your dog is in when you're petting them is what you're going to get more of.
Wow.
Which is opposite of how humans are wired, by the way.
Right.
We console each other with physical touch.
Sure.
But with dogs and animals, they don't do it.
They don't get it. So I talked to you about this earlier, and I've talked to a lot of people about this because the guilt, because I work with Saving Hope and so many dog shelters now, and I mean, I'm just so compassionate. Yeah. Can you, and at the time it was like, I can't, and people were like, you cannot get a rescue. You're not ready for that. You don't know what you're doing. And I don't know if that was true or not. But I did not get a rescue, and I have guilt for that because I see how many dogs need homes. If someone brings a rescue to you that has been abused, are you still talking about the 4 weeks, or is that something, what I mean?
Usually, but also...
That makes sense. I'm trying to...
Yeah, no, totally. But also, one big difference between humans and dogs is dogs, they live in the moment. They're only focused on what's happening now. The difference between humans and dogs in that aspect is human beings, we have the great ability to live in the past and to worry about the future.
Yeah.
So we can bounce back and forth where the dog is just focused on right now.
Really?
Yeah. So I get dogs a lot of the time that do come from rescues, and you hear it all the time. Like, I think he was abused. A lot of times, I think he was abused by a man. I think he was abused by this, and it could be.
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is we can't focus or worry or trap the dog in that story. We have to look what's in front of us, adapt to what's in front of us. And some dogs have more trauma than others, for sure. And I don't think trauma should be the right word. I think associations with things. And so we've just got to curve those associations and teach them that, hey, the way you feel about this right now may not feel good to you, but through time, through trust, through loyalty, all this stuff, like I can prove to you that life is good once we get on the other side of this stuff.
Right, right. Do you discipline dogs the same way we discipline our children? Is that the right way to say it? Like, for me, I wasn't a spanker.
Yeah.
I wasn't a spanker, but I would just redirect, take things away, of course, It's the same thing with animals.
Same thing.
Same thing.
I tell people all the time, if you can raise kids, you can raise a dog.
Nice.
Yeah, because if you think about, when you think about behavior with dogs, most people think the way you change behavior in a dog is through correcting them, disagreeing with behavior. But what I believe, in my opinion, is the way you change dog behavior is through follow through. Follow through is what you change behavior in kids. It's what you change behavior in dogs. It's the same thing. Yeah. So if the dog believes, oh, he's telling me no right now, but I know he's going to walk away and I'll just go back to doing whatever.
I got this.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. If they believe that, then that's what they'll do. And so it's the same thing with the kids. And I do a kids camp every year where I teach. I teach dogs dog psychology to kids, and it's the same concept. It's like you teach kids and dogs at the same times that there's rules and boundaries. That's it. And once you do that, it becomes not, I don't want to say easy, but a lot easier because there's consistency in the dog's eyes now.
Yeah.
They know, okay, no matter how many times I try this behavior that X, Y, and Z is disagreeing with, they're going to follow through and make me do it. So why am I wasting my energy and time on it?
Wow.
You know, and so consistency is such a huge teacher in the dog world and kids too.
Oh,
I mean,
relationships.
100%.
Everything, right?
Yes. I mean, when you know what's expected, makes life so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
It's like if you got a new job and walked into the office and they're like, somebody's like, hey, go in that room. Okay. You go into the room and there's a computer and a piece of paper, whatever, and nobody tells you what to do. Well, what do you do?
What are you going to do?
You sit there, right? But if somebody walks in and says, hey, nice to meet you, go in this room, get on the computer, do this, 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 and this, your life becomes easier because now the expectation's set. There's follow through if you don't do it. You know, it's all there. It's easier. And too often with our dogs, we want them to guess what we want them to do. Right. And sometimes it's just like, just show your dog. Just show them what you want. And a lot of the times, put your phone down. Stop filming them. Don't, I tell people, don't be the director with your phone. Go direct your dog. Right? So I appreciate the video of you showing me what your dog's doing. Yeah. But if you don't want them to do it, go tell them what to do. Right. You know, don't be the director, or don't be the director of the film. Go direct them what you want them to do. Wow. It makes life a lot easier.
That's maybe when I try to film Lala, she looks away.
Yeah.
No
like,
cameras, please.
Yeah.
I'm good.
She's too sassy for that.
Actually good. So in my adult life, which I've had an adult life, you know, it seems like, and I said no to this. We all have such anxiety, and then darn if I don't have anxiety. And my dog has anxiety. Yeah. Like she really does. She doesn't fly. She doesn't like to get in the car. She gets sick. She vomits, all these things. And I know I've enabled that. So, but from what I was reading, anxiety is a thing in dogs.
It's a human-made thing in dogs.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Yeah. If in the wild, there's no ability to have anxiety. And I think one of the things that hurt the dog human relationship the most for all of us was 2020.
Wow.
I mean, when 2020 happened, all I dealt with, I mean, literally phone calls, emails over and over and over again was about separation anxiety when people went back to work.
Really?
Yeah, because we spent a whole year with our dogs. We were all stressed, right? Because we didn't know what was going on in the world, that there was a sickness, it could get us, you know, all the possibilities.
We're going to die. We're going to die.
And so we shared that with our dogs, and we didn't leave the house for a year. So we were with our dogs on the couch, in the bed, following us around for a full year. And so then all of a sudden the dogs get used to that, and all of a sudden we go back to work and we're gone. And so now we go from spending 20 plus hours a day with our dog to now spending 8. Yeah. And now you're putting me in a crate all of a sudden when I've had to follow you. I've gotten the opportunity to follow you around all the time. I mean, human separation or separation anxiety in dogs was at an all-time high whenever 2020 ended.
Wow. Well, and it makes sense.
Yeah. But anxiety is what anxiety actually is when you take anticipation and excitement. You put those two things together, you mix them up, and then you break a pattern. And when you break that pattern, the dog's excited, they're anticipating what's next, and then I don't know, and then the breathing, and then the brain starts to work, and now I can't predict what's next, and then it's a snowball effect, just continues from there. Yeah.
You know, when you and I spoke a couple of weeks ago, and when we were on direct messages, thank you, by the way.
Oh, of course.
Oh, you caught me just at the right time. So Lala was in the hospital in ICU for a little less than a week. And the doctor called me and said, she's depressed. She won't eat. She won't drink. She won't sleep. Yeah. Well, you know, you go in there, and as fabulous as this place is, there's still cats crying. And she's never been around another animal in her life. And so we brought her home, and she started eating and drinking and doing all the things. Now she's not health-wise. But did I do the right thing bringing her home?
Yeah, because, I think so.
You know what I mean?
I'd agree with you. I mean, environment can be a big time.
Is that it?
Yeah, it can be a big time factor in how they feel. I mean, very anxious dogs that come to me, I mean, sometimes they don't eat for a couple of days. Just because their stomach is just in knots because the environment's been changed. Their normal day has been changed. And so for you, if Lala was good enough to come home, I think it was the right move. I would have done it too. Yeah. Because you can get them settled in where they know they're safe, they're comfortable, and they're going to rest more, which is going to heal them.
Right.
In the vet where there's all those noises and unexpected things and you don't know what's next, they're not going to sleep, they're not going to rest.
Right.
And so now you have a sleep deprived dog on top of a dog that doesn't feel well, which is not a recipe for anything you want to deal with.
It's just not. Yeah. And I'm your biggest nightmare when it comes to a client.
Why?
Because see, everything's covered in plastic right now because she has accident. Obviously, she's
for sure.
And so I bought her. It's not a crate. It's a little pink apartment.
You do what you got to do. No judgment here.
It's a little pink apartment.
I'm good with it. Don't worry.
And I'm like, Lala, you're going to get in your little pink apartment.
I love it.
I'm going to put a wreath on it or something because it's the holidays. So
I love it.
But to honestly tell me, like, do you just see me coming and go, oh dear, what am I going to have to deal with? But she seems, anyway, look at me. I'm trying to ask you if I'm going to, am I okay?
No, because I'll say this. Your heart is in the right spot.
It is.
And that is, to me, trainers that send dogs home that are robots, to me, that takes the fun out of dog ownership.
Yeah.
I mean, I tell my clients all the time when they go home with their dog, get your dog excited. Mm-hmm. Get them on the couch. Get them in do whatever. Get them in the bed. I don't care. But there just has to be a separation of structure and love and fun. Mm-hmm. If you have both, then life can be good. Yeah. I don't think it should be one way or the other. If your dog is super structured and that's what you want, that's fine. But most families, they don't want that. They want a dog that they can enjoy. They got it because they wanted a pet. Mm-hmm. And so I tell people all the time, like, your dog's trained. Mm-hmm. They're balanced. You know, they can have good days, they can have bad days, but the main thing is they can listen to human direction. They can follow you. They can walk on a leash. They can be fulfilled. Go enjoy your dog.
Right.
Let them run around. Let them be crazy. The difference is most people with their dogs, they have the ability to turn the excitement switch on, but they don't know how to turn it off. And that's where I come in. I teach them how to turn it off.
Turn it off.
So that you can enjoy your dog on both sides.
Right.
If your dog went home and was never excited again, that doesn't sound fun at all.
No.
You know? Mm-hmm. And so it's just like kids. You know, our kids, they're going to be excited and crazy at the trampoline park, but they have to be able to shut it off and go to the wedding.
Go to bed.
Yeah, whatever. Like,
yeah.
You have to be able to shut it off.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of people with dogs these days struggle. Mm-hmm. And if you think about, 30 years ago, and how much pet ownership has changed. 30 years ago, dogs were outside.
Yes.
They just were. Like,
no dogs were inside.
None. It was just like they were outside dogs. I was thinking about this morning. When's the last time you've gone to somebody's house and seen a dog house outside?
My sister.
Right.
She lives in the country, though.
But it's so rare, right? It's
so rare.
You never see dog houses anymore.
No.
And growing up, everyone had a dog house. It's just like the dog sleeps out there. I mean, you're going to sleep in the doghouse tonight. I mean, you hear it all the time relationally. People say that,
I know. My sister and I go back for it, and she does. My sister's very successful, lives in rural Texas, and her dogs are outside, 3 dogs. And I'm like, that is just cruel. And she said, are you kidding me? I try to bring them in, and they cry, and that is the way it was, right?
Well, and I mean, that's how dogs are. They're meant to be outside, but we bring them in for companionship, and that's fine. But a hunting dog has no desire to be in a crate in a small apartment all day long. If they had the choice between that or going out onto some acreage and just being able to run and be a dog, they're going to choose that every time. Yeah. There's not even a question.
That is fascinating.
And so growing up, everybody had a dog that was outside. And so everything's changed now. So we bring the dogs in now, which is fine. But there's just there's a disconnect between the human and dog now because they don't understand each other.
No.
Because the human wants to coddle them and love the behaviors out of them. And the dog's like, dude, are you going to feed me? Are you going to walk me? Are you going to give me the instinctual things that I need to survive? That's all I care about.
That's amazing.
And so there's just a disconnect with humans and dogs nowadays because they don't understand. There's just a lack of education sometimes on how they're supposed to live together.
And thank goodness for you. Goodness gracious. I'm going to get you back on here. There's 1,000 more things on here. But, and I do. My little girl, I put her outside. It's 100 degrees and I feel so guilty. Yeah. And of course she works me. She just stands at the door. Of course you know me. You know me, and you didn't even have to have this interview.
It's all right.
No, but that's it's fascinating. My daughter, my sister, I'm like, you were abusing your dogs. She's like, no, I want them inside, but they won't come in.
I think even with that, there's a balance of both.
Yes.
If she's trying to bring them in and they're saying no, then there's your answer. I mean, it's like I feel bad, when it's snowy and super cold outside.
Yes.
But go put a husky or Bernese mountain dog out there. You're going to feel bad, but they're going to be in heaven.
Heaven.
They're going to love it.
My friend has a husky, and when it's snowing, that husky is in just heaven. Now the other ones, Rottweilers, they don't want out there.
I'm out.
I'm good. I'm just good. I'm going to watch this baby right now.
For sure.
It's true. Protect
100%.
it. And it takes me to, Lexi in here, my producer has 3 dogs, totally different dogs, I'm sure. You have dogs, sounds like hundreds, and I have 1, and they're so different.
100%.
And that goes back to the breed too, right?
It can. I mean, breed can be part of it. I mean, the drives that they have, but also there's different positions in the pack of every litter of dogs. There's a front of the pack, middle of the back of the pack of every litter. And so that means you're going to get a different temperament out of the dog, So that's one thing that I've helped some people with is when they pick out puppies, I ask them, like, let me help you pick out what's going to fit your family's lifestyle. Because most people think when you go to meet a litter of puppies, the one that jumps on you that you meet, they're like, oh, he picked me. He loves me. When in reality, what that dog did is, I'm front of the pack. I'm going to disregard your space. I'm going to jump on you and claim your space. And now I've actually let you know that I'm yours.
Oh, my gosh.
So they've claimed you. You didn't claim them. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so you would, I'm creating maybe a new job for you, but it would be beneficial to have when you're looking for a pet.
For sure. I've helped several people that are, hey, we're getting a puppy, and I'll tell them, send me, one of my best friends, he was getting a boxer puppy. I said, have the owner send you the video of the litter. And so he sent the litter. She sent the video of the litter, he sent it to me, and I told him, I was like, that dog, the one he picked, Rosie, I was like, that's the dog you need.
Wow.
And he picked Rosie, and it has been phenomenal for them.
Wow.
And not just because of me. They've done a ton of work. But I could see what was going to be best for their family and what kind of their activity level is and what they wanted out of the dog.
Because
I've just seen it so many times.
I was going to ask you earlier, I know you were in the business world, for sure, corporate world. This isn't a degree that this is life that you've lived.
It's just, stuff I've experienced, stuff that I've learned. And I've had to learn this as I've gotten older, but like sometimes you learn so much by being quiet and just watching.
No joke.
And the dog stuff, when people ask me like, how did you learn so much about dogs so fast and this and that? And I tell them, I'm like, I have spent months and years just sitting in a chair in the backyard watching dogs.
Wow.
And their behavior and how they move and all that stuff. So like it just comes from, experience, but also like I've had some great mentors who have showed me stuff and helped me. And it's once you find a community that is all on the same page and everybody's in agreement with what we're doing, like it just makes life so much easier. Support.
What is that?
I know, right?
Right. It's amazing.
You don't think you need it till you need it.
But you do. And maturity is, of course, maturity is for sure. Should I watch your videos and I should walk when I walk my dog? I'm just getting some free advice from all y'all right now.
Let's get it.
Should the dog walk behind you or in front of you?
That's a good question. So for me, if I'm going to be the leader of that walk and want to keep the dog safe, it's impossible to keep a dog safe if they're in front of you. Right? So just like if you had your kid in a crowded mall or an area or whatever, you wouldn't walk with their hand in front of you. You would keep them behind you because now you can shield and protect anything that might happen, And so we want to put ourselves in a calm, confident leadership role. Because when we feel that way, again, the pilot, when we're the pilot of that plane and we know everything's fine, you guys, everything's good back there. When we can get the dog into a calm follower state and we're the calm, confident leader, they're going to follow you. Dogs are born and bred to follow.
Wow.
That's what they are. They migrate, they follow, and they follow good human direction. And too often we try and love them into that. We try and give them so much freedom, but freedom doesn't equal love.
Wow.
Freedom doesn't equal happiness.
Ugh.
If you think about it, a lot of times freedom creates more stress than anything,
He's looking at me. he's looking at me with my dog going 10 feet in front of me. She's walking me.
She's walking you.
She is.
And so you can't just be an anchor on
cute.
that. It is cute.
No, it's not.
But you can't be an anchor, because then what is the value of that walk? You know, that's what I ask people.
Right.
Because people tell me a lot. They tell me all the time, like, oh, I went on a 5-mile walk today. That's fine. Like, I'm great. The distance is, you know the distance, but what value did you get out of that? You know?
Dang.
And so to me, it's like, if you can get yourself in that leadership role, get the dog in a follower state, those steps together is what's going to create that bond and that relationship that is so strong.
Yes.
The companionship that everybody's looking for.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
But the act of the walk is what people think is going to solve everything. It's part of it. But when you get the leadership and follower stuff in the right area, that's where the good stuff is.
Lala would be the leader of my family.
That's right. It happens.
One more question.
Yeah.
Having the dog in the bed with you.
So it depends. Not every dog's the same. I'll start by saying that. Some dogs sleep with owners, have zero issue. But other dogs, when we sleep with them, we're sharing the same plane with that dog. And so you have to think about it. When you are asleep, that is the most relaxed you can be, right? It's the ultimate relaxation. So when you're sharing that plane with the dog, then you become equals, right? So when you become equals with the dog, it becomes a challenge, because it's like being a coach of a team. Every team has to have a coach. Otherwise, it's chaos. Everybody wants the ball. Everybody wants to score. They don't know what play to run. But when you have somebody orchestrating that, you know, there's a hierarchy. And so it's the same with the dogs. When we share that with them and your dog's not balanced, or if your dog has separation issues or space issues and they're sharing that with you all the time, it can become hard when you try and break that pattern later. Mm-hmm. Because all of a sudden I share all this stuff with you, and now all of a sudden today you're telling me we can't do that. That's not how my life works.
Right.
I'm not doing that. You know, so sharing it, again, some people, no issues. I tell people, if you're having no behavioral backslide or issues elsewhere, do it. I don't care. Have fun. Do it. But if you start to do that stuff and you see things kind of unraveling somewhere, then we'll readdress it. Right. You know, so it's not about taking away. I never want to take away the relationship and the love and the fun that owners have with their dogs. I never want that to happen. But we just got to be realistic about what it can be creating and causing.
You know what I've learned today?
What's that?
I have very much screwed up my dog.
No, not at all. No,
I'm kidding. Not really.
I said, so I will say this, and I tell my clients this all the time. The only way you screw up your dog is if you do nothing.
That's true.
If nothing changes, then nothing changes. That's just a fact.
Right.
And so if your heart is in the right place, that's a majority of it, because you want to do what's right and you want to do what makes the dog happy and yourself happy. Yeah. So your heart is 1000% in the right area, the right spot. And sometimes it just takes a little fine tuning, my help or whoever's, to try and get that, pointed in the right direction for you.
So when you, when something happens to my dog,
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Are you going to take me on as a client?
I'll take you on any day.
A personal
No
client.
worries.
I mean, can you imagine? Because you've been through this.
I've been through it. Yeah. Personal dogs. Yeah. I've been through it, and it's tough. But through life, I have learned, I've learned to not miss the time that I want now, but love the time that I had.
Okay.
And so I've learned that through personal family stuff.
Yes.
I've had a lot of loss in my life with family stuff, and it's human emotions. I catch myself being sad or feeling upset or feel like I'm being shortchanged somehow. And I'd had to teach myself through time that I'm so thankful for all the years and the experiences I had with these people, my parents, my family, and everybody. That's what I'm thankful for. I can't miss what I believe I'm missing out on now. Do I want it? Of course.
No.
But at the same time, I'm so thankful for what I had.
Right.
And that's the same way with the dogs. So I hope my other dogs aren't watching, but one of my favorite dogs, Zoe, she passed away a couple years ago. I mean, she was my buddy. I mean, she was the first dog my wife and I, Kinsey and I, got when we moved in together. She was with me for 12 years. I mean, she was amazing. I loved her. But I have to sit back and think, man, she taught me so much that is so valuable now. I use what I learned with her with all the other dogs. So she was so helpful in the, in the growth of me in the business. Like, she was instrumental in all of this, so she played her part, and her role on this planet was to be my buddy and to help me learn. And she did it.
She did it.
So I'm thankful for her.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Gosh. You know what I have to say? I think we're at around a 240 podcast or so now.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite podcasts.
Thank you so much.
I mean, Lexi, you think? I mean, this is good stuff.
Thank you so much.
It's good stuff.
I appreciate it.
Because there's so much that you can give to me as a different stage of, and then the people, we're very close to Christmas of 2025 that you could teach those people.
For sure. I just made a post the other day. It's puppy giving season. That's what happens. And so the biggest thing is what we talked about with picking puppies, compatibility.
Yeah.
Pick what is aesthetically appealing to you.
Right.
Pick what is going to fit your family's lifestyle.
Right.
So if you're active, don't go get the Basset Hound.
No.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
If you are not a very active family, don't go get the Belgian Malinois. So just do some research.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I researched this to pieces. My gosh, I researched Junkie. I can't even tell you how much I've appreciated you and enjoyed this.
Thank you so much.
What you're sharing with so many people
globally
so much. Right now.
Well, I love what I do, and I love helping people and educating and dogs, and I'm always available and always happy to help.
Thank you. Well, and also I say it again, probably said it 3 or 4 times in this podcast, but the timing to reach out to me because I was hurting, and you see me on social media, but we hadn't met until today.
Yes, ma'am.
But your intuition is spot on.
Well,
but thank you.
Of course.
Thank you.
I think timing is everything in life.
It always is.
Yes,
it is. So tell us how we can find you.
So you can find me on Instagram, Estill Dog Psychology, Facebook, same way. TikTok as well.
Yes.
And then my website is www.estilldogpsychology.com.
Well, what a gift you are
Thank
to
you so
many.
much.
Thank you so much. And guys, we're on YouTube, so if you want to see what he looks like.
Hey.
What if he looks like his puppies or any of those dogs or anything like that? But thank you.
Of course.
And you guys, we have all this information in the show notes, and I hope you enjoyed this today. This is something that came from my heart, and Robbie had timing. And so I appreciate you all following along and listening. And I say it every single Tuesday. Keep being fabulous.